Hi everyone, Alex here from My Cartographer. How y'all doing? I'm going to keep this one not brief, but quicker, less ramble because there's a lot to show you. We've not released anything for a few weeks because I've been away and there was just a delay with stuff, and then we had to get the Foundry stuff sorted, and the Foundry stuff that we have now done is so... it took a while to do. And I'm going to explain it as I go through it. So, what we've got, and the Foundry pack has already been updated. Some of you will have already noticed it. This announcement's coming a little bit late, and the maps are now on my airbridge. What we've got is 2 domains, which is the Rider's Bridge, which is a Headless Horseman bridge, and then we have the Sea of Sorrows, which in Van Richten's is basically a list of different things that you might find in a water-based campaign. And we chose 2 of the ones that we liked the sound of and thought, yeah, cool, we'll make some maps for those. We've gone pretty heavy on levels, the levels module, and kind of using more advanced canopy stuff. It's really cool. So, the first one that we did, a very simple canopy. So we just got this long pier. Essentially, with the Headless Horseman, the domain is a bridge. So he controls the bridge and he tries to kill people on the bridge, and if they get to the other side of the bridge into the mists, then it might take them to another domain. That is the concept of it. So for this one, just simple, added these little canopies over just so it adds that little extra bit of 3D immersion type thing. Very, very simple one. The next one, we did a desert bridge. So the thing with the bridges in this domain is that I've not got a person already on here. Is that they appear anywhere? They're not specific to a particular place. They are a domain in and of themselves that kind of appear in other domains. So it explains that you might find one in Morden, or you might find one in Harakir, in all the different places. So this is one that would work for a desert plane, and they're just bridges. And you can see with this one, we've not got the mists on the other side. We have a mist and a mist-free version of these 3 bridges that we've done. So the difference here is that you can move out, you can go out on the bridge and stuff like that. We've got these little markers, and these are visual tiles that we have added. The DMs can, if they wish, go onto the tile menu. Is it this one? Is it one below it? And you could hide them if you don't want your players to see them. However, we've put them there on purpose because they trigger levels. They trigger players moving up or down. So when players step on them, it says, sorry, got a bit of a frog in my throat, that you can descend 10 feet. So it will move your elevation to -10. And going under the bridge will essentially allow you to go under the bridge. Ooh! And then if you go back on to this bit, it's like you're climbing back up, so you can move up to the ledge, and then you're back up. Pretty cool, right? So what happens is when you've got this person on here, and you then... this has got a wall here, so there's a little bit of line of sight blocking, but we've had to turn off the actual black visuals of it turning it off. But, it's minor things that we've had to get rid of. What happens is when you go under the bridge, again, you can't see them, so you're operating there, and if you switch to the other person, they can't see you under the bridge. So you can have this 2 tiers of combat. I not that long ago had a combat where we were on a bridge and we were fighting vampires, and so some of the vampires were going under the bridge. My character has spider climb, so having something like this in Foundry, enabling that full 360 degrees of combat, is pretty cool. We've done similar on... Where's my third one? I had them all prepped and they've inadvertently closed. We've also got this one. This one's a little bit more complicated. Let me just delete the sound off that. 1 second. Let me turn the sound down on this one. It's a bit too loud. I can't even hear myself think. So with this one, we've got this covered wooden bridge, and as you get over to it, the roof disappears. As you go under it, you are going under these rafters. What can happen is, if the player wishes to, and as far as the you got your green guy in there, as far as this goes, oh, you can see there because there's windows, so he has line of sight from here to here, so that's why you can see through that bit. what happens is when you go under here, you go under the bridge, and you can be moving around, and you can see that we've left this little invisible trail to show you that you are under the bridge, so the DM can kind of judge your judge your cover and visibility. Now you might be wondering, hey, why can I suddenly see this green dude? It's because you've just popped out where there is a hole under the bridge, so you can see somebody when they are under it and they go to this bridge area. There's a very weird line of sight elevation that works in full 360. It's pretty clever. So if I go back far enough that I would have completely zero vision, but then if I get closer, it's like you can just about see into it. So the scale works pretty well. So that's what would happen. But then you've also got this person that can then climb out of the hole. You change them manually, and then they're climbing into this so they're on the same level, and they can then, if they wish to, while fighting a headless horseman, for example, they might want to climb into the rafters, and then they are up on top of these beams, and you can see that they are on top of it, whereas this person is below it. You've got this kind of cool trade-off, and then once again they could even climb on top of the roof and fight on here. So this one became a little bit more complicated. We went from simple canopy to 2 levels to then this weird tiered structure thing that we've got. And there are some trade-offs with having this. You do have things like losing the wall shadowing and stuff to have certain features like rooftops on, but I think they're a worthwhile trade. Then we go a little bit more detailed. So this is the lighthouse. The concept of this in the book is that there is this island with a lighthouse on it, but the lighthouse isn't to guide ships, it is to guide creatures from the pit that is at the bottom of the lighthouse. So Stefan has drawn a possibility of one such giant shrimp-like creature that may have come from this pit. So what happens is, and this was built in levels, you come here and you go in and you're inside. So you've got this pit that who knows what monstrosities are going to keep coming out of this. For something like this, I would suggest, something like a survival mode, like a constant wave after wave, and you've got to try and get to the lighthouse and shut the light off to stop all these creatures from keep coming. I think that would be pretty cool. But what can happen is, as I said with these arrows, so you get into some line of sight on here, because when you go up here, this person is further up. You can see the transition going between these 2 floors. You have to be careful when you do this, because when you automatically step on it, it's going to tell you which way you're going down. So you've gone up 10 feet and then you go back down 10 feet, but you have to come off the tile to go then back up. It triggers as soon as you step on it. And this character is currently hidden, but we go onto the 2nd floor, we go outside, and then it takes us up a level, and then we're in the rafters. And that is where this person is hidden on the floor below. So they can see them up there, and you can see them underneath down there. So again, you've got these different tiers for combat, and then we've got this last thing, climb up the rope, and it will take us the last 10 feet into the lighthouse, and you've got this extra little cool canopy. However you'd want to use this, entirely up to you. There's not a ton of information, but it is a pretty cool map. Even if you've not got an ocean campaign, being in a dock town and them saying like, strange things are happening over at the lighthouse, we want to send some adventurers out there. The people that were sent out there have never come back. Get your people on this. This is an easy drag and drop map that you can place into the majority of campaigns. This is completely built with levels. The levels module made by Ripper. For anybody that's using the Foundry module, you will now find links in our journal entries to these different modules. Links to Patreon pages if you want to support the module makers, which I would highly encourage, because they do great stuff and they allow us to make great stuff for you. So let's share the wealth and pass it on to these other people. With this, because if for whatever reason the module ever stopped getting supported, or when Foundry changes and things don't start working out right, we have made a more traditional version of it as well in Foundry. So it's still got all the walls in it, still got all the sounds and the lights and things like that. So if at any point this stops working, you know, if down the line level support stops working, we will always make sure that any modules that become heavily, any maps that become heavily dependent on a module, they will always have a non-dependent version of the map as well. So how long we've been? 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So this is the last one. This is a really simple one. This is Vigilance Bluff. This is like a sunken island where there's an undead paladin that lives on the island. So you've got this misty island. With this one, there is just a little bit of canopy feature for going under it, and then you've got this. We've used our smart canopy where, as you approach, you can see under the canopy, and then when you get to it, it disappears. And then we just got this little bit of canopy here because there's nothing majorly obstructive. Cool little map. We did a tropical version of it as well, where the colours are a lot brighter. If you just want to have a nice little island castaway moment, this is a cool map for that. So these are the maps that are already out, and now we're going to take a look at what is coming next. And I'm really, really excited about this next bit. Briefly mentioned it in the last video, and that is our lightning rail train. We're going to do a modular lightning rail train for Sire 1313. The concept behind that is that there is this ghost train, and the train itself is the domain, and so it has on it a Dark Lord, it has a dark power embedded in it somewhere, but that's it. It's just like a little paragraph of an idea that this train was caught in the middle of a catastrophe when it was trying to flee, and now the passengers on board are, you know, endlessly on this train. And so what we have got our own version of the train. So this is our lightning rail train. You can see we've got it on a parallaxis. So this map that we've got in the background is very basic, just to get the idea. But this is a parallaxis map that looks like the train is constantly going. If you want to stop this, if you want to turn it off, if your player's like, hey, it's making me feel a bit sick, you can do. If you want to keep the effect, then it's something that you are in control of, just by a simple, I think it's just a right click, double click on this tile, and you can change the offset to 0 and it will stop moving. But having it any slower, it didn't feel like an animated train. It didn't feel like it was going. So we have this cool lightning train, a little bit different from the ones you've seen before. People kind of tend to go a little bit more traditional train looking. I guess typically to make a lightning rail and non-lightning rail variant, but we have kind of doubled down and stuck with the artwork of Sire 1313 or Sire 1313. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced. So we've got these little. Let me get out of this. I don't want to keep selecting that. Yeah, so we've got these different trains that are all going to be modular. The limitation is going to be the size of the map. We're going to do different sized maps, so you can choose how many carriages you want to have placed at any one time, and you'll be able to pick and choose them. You know, the actual carriage, the lightning at the side, all the walls and everything, they will be made into drag and drop prefab carriages. So you'll literally just be able to pick it off, delete it, and then, you know, choose another one to put on and stuff like that. So you'll be able to kind of build in advance the carriage that you want. Yeah, so that's going to be a cool way to do it. And we've got quite a few carriages made. So we've got these ones here. Got some sleeper carriages, passenger carriages, luggage carriages, some weird portal carriage. We've got a blank carriage, 2 of them, like a metal one and a wooden one that you can decorate with your own assets. We are, spoiler alert, looking at making a carriage builder map editor like we did with the Wizard's Tower. We're looking at doing one for this as well when Stefan finds time, because at the moment he's working on another editor. So we're all about the editors at the moment. It's going to be some cool stuff happening with it. But yeah, so we have our lightning train, and because it is one of the domains of dread, Sire 1313, in our head it was like, hey, do you know what? Maybe the engine carriage is the actual dark power. So that's where typically they are encased in these amber crystal sarcophagi. So we're like, hey, it'd be cool if, you know, you had a version where the engine was it, but then also there's going to be an option where if there's the driver of this is, you know, essentially they're inside this crystal sarcophagus, and this is going to be a canopy that you can go inside and move underneath, and you'll kind of see yourself on the other side of it. But other than that, you know, we've got some highly detailed maps that, you know, credit where it's due. I made the template and the layout of the carriages. I did the engine train, but Stefan has made all these other carriages that you can see here. And we've also got somewhere else. I think we've got a couple more train set 2. Got a couple more carriages here. Got like a dining car, cargo, or a vat, some prison cells, you know. So I've got some cool options. If we get the chance to make any more, at the moment I think this is probably going to be the set, because we are doing the train editor and stuff. We have got another 2 maps that are also going to be coming out this month, so I want to make sure that we get those finished. And one of them is one of them's a big map, and then one of them's a really big map. One of them's like a 40 by 40 inch map, so that's going to take a while to get finished. So there you go, longer video but big showcase to show you what is available and what is going to be coming out very, very soon. Hope you're excited to see this stuff. Hope you're even more excited to play on it. But let us know what you think, if you've got any thoughts about it. If you want to make any carriage suggestions between now and the end of the month, if we get a chance, then, you know, we might be able to throw some stuff together. But otherwise, as ever, let us know what you think in the comment below. So thank you guys for watching. Short and sweet, to the point at least. Keep rolling those 20s, folks. Peace.